Welcome to your Overjoyed Thyroid. I'm Marlene Allen, and I'm happy to have you with me today. I want to let you know that you do not have to be present on the live stream. Just since you registered, you are actually included right now. So there will be a replay sent to you, though, shortly afterwards, and you can refer back to that too. And I also want to remind you to please drink plenty of water today. I do have some powerful clearings lined up for you, and this is going to help to flush out the toxins and whatever else doesn't belong. Also, you can feel free to say hi in the chat box. I do have support there today, so if you do have a couple of quick things you wanted to mention, that would be great. Maybe just put in 1 or 2 words if you can, keep it short. And also, if you do have something that you want me to reply to offline, I could do that as well. So we are close to about having an hour-long clearing experience here, and so right around in that about an hour point. So let's get started, okay? Regenerating the thyroid gland from the cellular level back to its younger biological state is the focus of today's session. So we want to go from our current state of the thyroid to an overjoyed thyroid. And I am Marlene Allen. I am a certified master quantum health activator and many other things. And a midlife makeover is what I specialize in that reverses the debilitating effects of accelerated aging. So today we're going to be letting go of what doesn't belong with love and quantum activations. Quantum activations are what's used to bring about a desired result in, today in the endocrine system with the thyroid and its hormones. So by diving deep into the master cell of that gland, we're going to clear out all that has built up over the years and also as well as some damaging programs and interference we may not even be aware that we're walking around with that potentially can be making choices for us. Many people have experienced quantum healing. The activations actually produce a regeneration of cells in a body part or an area, for example, today the thyroid, and for women especially in the endocrine glands. So this one is a big one, not only for women, men as well, but a lot of women, most women I do work with do have compromise in the thyroid, and some very greatly compromised. So this quantum energy actually transcends time and space. It's the healing and the activation that happens in the past and in the present and the future. If you can see them happening all at one time, right? All on the same time frame, timeline. So by tapping into the life force energy of the body, we can then let go of what doesn't belong. So that's one of the areas that I'm working in is the life force today. So I'm going to be checking over here to see where we are at with the clearings. I've actually started before today so that we can get these all to where we want them. And we are definitely getting there. Okay, wonderful. So the reason that the quantum activations work for you is because we're going to be going into the quantum field. And we all have one, right? And we're accessing the pleasure field here. That's another name for it. So also higher frequency field, whatever you want to call it. And this is going to allow us to set this intention to what it is that we want to work on today, having an optimized thyroid, an overjoyed thyroid, and we are going to rearrange the particles in there. Okay, so we're not doing an energy healing. Actually, we're in control of our own particles and rearranging them so that they work better for you. So this is what I do with the quantum entanglement, is to create a desired result for you. So I did start the clearings of these toxins, years of deterioration, anything that doesn't belong from the thyroid, and they are a part of what I have been working on here on the live session, and also as well as for those of you who may be accessing this on a replay. Either way, this is working for you too right now. So the clearings and the prep work for the thyroid include the chakras being balanced. So we're working in there, aura layers, getting those cleared. Entity attachments, those are attachments to your energy field. And we mentioned the increasing your life force. We want that all the way up to 100% and then raising your frequency of vibration. So we are in all of those areas, and I'm going to check where we are at with each one. So, okay, we're going to continue there for just a bit. Now, today or any time that we're accessing the recording, you can also imagine that you're healing yourself. And any ailment that you might be having, you can just see it melting away and disappearing. And this is going to help open the mind to possibility of actually being healed, and it can lead to faster results for you. So as well as what I'm doing, you can actually assist in this process too. People with chronic conditions sometimes really cannot imagine their life without that condition, and that could actually slow the healing once they allow old thought patterns around an illness to continue. So people who can get, they get attached to these negative experiences that they've had in their past and keep bringing them forward into the now, right? So sometimes they get so caught up in these patterns of negativity that they just kind of stick with them. And they actually do get in the way of your higher intention for yourself. So do yourself a favor, if this is you, and book a session with me, and then we'll find and clear the root of your particular issue and clear that for you personally. So although when you registered, I've read you, and that's what the clearings are based on, there can be things on your timeline or programs in your DNA, for example, that can go much deeper to reveal when we're in a one-on-one situation. So that may be exactly what's required for you. So using quantum activations, we're going to clear the blocks. That's what I'm working on right here. Any energies that have caused your thyroid to function poorly. And we're also removing DNA programs and dark energies for having a compromised thyroid to begin with. And once the energy field is clear, then we're going to experience the cell regeneration using your own stem cells and then activated by the quantum field. And then we're going to start a flood of new 100% functioning cell growth throughout the entire thyroid. So we'll continue with the clearings for a bit, and then we'll move on to rebuild the parts of the thyroid, regenerating it at the cellular level. And then until that list of the clearings is complete, until then I will describe the parts of the thyroid, problems it can cause. So have some water to sip on, and we'll get going here. So let's look at the chakras and the connection to the glands. Okay, so the chakra we're looking at here today is going to be the throat chakra, connected with the thyroid gland. So you can see, though, that healing can actually benefit a multitude of illnesses affecting your mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual well-being and everything in between. So just think of it this way. Everything begins with your consciousness. Everything that happens in your life, everything that happens in your body begins with something happening in your consciousness. So that's who you really are. It's energy. And this energy fills your entire body. Your consciousness is connected to every cell in your body. And through your consciousness, then you can communicate with every cell in your body and with every organ, every tissue, every part. So this is what I do, again, to create a desired result for you with quantum entanglement. So the direction of manifestation is from the consciousness, your thoughts, beliefs, whatever you're thinking about here, and then that goes through into your energy field and then to your physical body. So to recap that, then a change of consciousness then creates a change in your energy field, the chakras and aura layers, and then that change can happen before a change in the physical body. It always happens in that direction, right? So you do actually have control over what's going on with your physical body if you think about it in those terms of, what is in my consciousness? What am I believing? Do I believe I can't heal? Well, if you believe it, I guess you're not, right? So that's actually what's going to happen. There is something like that. A lot of people who believe that. I can clear that. We do have a clearing for that, but just know that there are people, actually it's on my list, isn't it? Yes. So there are some people in this group that maybe have had that thought that I can't heal, or this is, useless or ridiculous. So that can, that's a real thing. So the more you can change your perception up here of how things really are, then that's going to be what's going to be happening in your energy centers, chakras, and aura, and then eventually into the physical, right? So you could actually then become whole and healthy yourself. Now, an energetic life force upgrade is the real secret behind everything. And without the energy ball inside us fueling our flame, we would just peter out in age. So this is the secret of longevity, and we want 100% life force with everybody today in order to go ahead to do the regeneration. So let's check where we're at. All right, let's do a quick getting into our body type exercise here. Okay, so put your feet on the ground, on the floor. Ideally, it would be bare feet on the earth. Okay, this would be absolutely wonderful. As a matter of fact, if you can fit this in every day, getting your feet onto the earth, wonderful electrons that you'd be pulling up there through the, I believe it's the kidney point at the bottom of your soles. So just imagine that right now, that beautiful earth energy, the electrons buzzing around there now around your feet, and they're coming up through that kidney point there on the soles of your feet, coming up into your feet, into your ankles, into your shins, moving up into your knees, up your thighs, now into your hips. Beautiful healing earth energy now going up into your sacral, into your belly, to your solar plexus, coming into the chest. Very nice. Up to the shoulders. Now it's filling in your arms, your fingers, coming up now through the neck, to the jaw, into the head, behind your eyes, up to the crown, and it's now coming up to the top of your head, and cleaning everything up, cleaning all the aura layers coming through. Now we are connecting, see ourselves connected straight to source. Okay, we're going to connect to the central sun right now too, and we're going to bring this beautiful healing energy straight down the crown, coming through behind your eyes, to the jaw, to the neck, the shoulders, now filling out your wonderful arms all the way through every single fingertip, receiving this information, coming down now through the neck, through the chest, to the solar plexus, your belly, the sacral, to your hips, coming down now through the thighs, the knees, the shins, the calves, the ankles, the feet, and every little toe, and then going out down through that root, the root that you connected into the earth. Beautiful. You can see this energy coming back up through the earth, cleansing you one more time, and then this beautiful healing energy coming down through your entire body and connecting through that root. Again, going out to the bottom of your soles into the earth. Sending all energy that doesn't belong to you, all dark energy, all non-beneficial energy, just sending that into the center of the earth where it can be transformed, transmuted into useful energy. Very nice. All right, very good. Okay, so we're at 100% life force. Yay. And you can do this anytime during your day. As a matter of fact, this would be great for you to do every morning. Now, your frequency of vibration is also critical to your health and well-being, and this is the chart that you see here on the screen. It's not exactly 100% accurate here, but we will use it. It does definitely go past 1,000, okay, on the top end, and 0 on the bottom end. Jealousy is actually down below at the bottom pretty much, where you have actually then other low emotion vibrations. So if you're in fear, you're in the suffering area of your frequency. Just know every time you bring fear into your body, into your field, that you are bringing your vibration down. And that's where suffering is, that's where illness is, that's where unhappiness is, and I'm talking emotionally as well as physically here. The whole ball of wax. It could be, mental, it could be emotional, it could be financial, right? So that's where the just getting by, suffering, nothing ever good ever happens to me. Why do I always have to work so hard? That's where all that is, because we're contracted, we're debts. That's where all this dense, icky stuff that's in our cells right now that we're going to be letting go of here just in a few minutes. So anytime we have the toxins and so forth in the cells, this will also contract them and make them dense and dirty. So we really want this out, right? We want to let this go, and we want to expand. We want to increase the frequency of our vibration. So we really want to be 500 or above is what they say, love or above. You've probably heard that, but that's really where we want to be in the flow. This is where synchronicities happen. This is where the law of attraction, things start coming to us, right? So we don't have to work so hard. We can just be and let things happen, let things come to us that we've already identified as what we desire. So this is all possible for you, and to do the healing work, we need to be up here at the top of the scale, if not even a little higher, to do this healing work, although you can actually start anywhere from anywhere yourself, right? But this is where we get the most improvement in the response if we can have our frequency of vibration much, much higher than it is right now. So just see that for yourself. Just see yourself going up the scale. If you can just envision that. All right, and if you can't, if you can just at least stay in neutrality, you're at least a lot better than being in the lower vibrations of fear and anger and so forth, right? So if at least you can be neutral, then you're above that. And feeling better. So we did have clear, healthy cells when we were babies. We experienced joy and happiness more often. So what went wrong? What's gone on with our glands, our organs? Well, many things, but chemicals and toxins actually prevent normal levels of hormones in your body from working properly. And these hormones do a lot of things we are so dependent on, but we've loaded ourselves with toxins for a long time. There's environmental pollutions, things in our air, things in our contaminated water, pharmaceuticals also in the water, besides the ones we take, household cleaners and personal health and beauty products. There are organic versions to these. So be very careful what you put on your skin. Your skin is one of the largest organ of your body, and it just soaks in all this stuff. So be very careful of what you're putting in. If you just bought something at the drugstore, chances are it's not that good for you. Okay, so same with household cleaners if you got it at the grocery store. Again, there's very natural versions of these that you can get. Actually, I do have a couple links on my website on the resources tab for these type of products. And then genetically modified food-like items, right? So be very picky about what you put into your body. This is a kind of a wake-up call for us right now. So what are we eating? Is it natural? Is it clean? Is it whole? Is it full of fats? So our liver has to do a lot of work. So be mindful of that. Lack of movement and breath. Yes, absolutely. And not being in touch with nature. So getting your feet on the ground, earthing. Getting those biorhythms going, watching fear-based violence on television. It doesn't even have to be violence or war or traumas. It doesn't even have to be that to be broadcasting the frequency of fear, which I understand is what a lot of broadcast television and cable is sent out at, that frequency of fear. So whatever you're watching, even if it's not violent, it can still bring down your frequency into a very lower, fear-based level. So you might want to be turning the programming off, watching something a little more has a higher vibration, watching some YouTube channels, get some subscriptions to some very, very intelligent, wonderful alternative stations there that are broadcasting some wonderful news actually, so we don't have to stay in the doom and gloom. So also low vibration emotions, we just mentioned anger, jealousy, fear, right? Constant use of being on technology, on the phones, on Wi-Fi, video games, allowing virtual or artificial intelligence. That's a no-no. We are not machines. We are human. Keep your humanity. Reliance on your brain, being in the mental up here instead of in the heart, coming from the heart. This is the biggest brain right here, is from the heart. And then believing, our belief systems. What is it that you're even believing? Maybe it's not even your own. Where did we get half of these beliefs? Question them. Be aware. Now, here are some questions if we are experiencing some compromise in our thyroid that we can ask ourselves. and see what kind of answers that we can come up with. Maybe our higher self is going to give us some insight into what could possibly have caused these issues with the thyroid. So what am I afraid to declare to the world in fear of being destroyed, humiliated, or rejected? What criminal secret is in my DNA that is ready to be released? What lie have I bought into that tells me I cannot have? And what value have I placed on being misunderstood or that I am an exception? What do I need to let go of? What value have I placed on being denied the things I desire? What will it take to create balance in my emotions? What will it take to get my unconscious mind to agree with my conscious mind so they can work together to manifest the good I have come to offer the world? Who or what do I feel is keeping me from expressing my thoughts and feelings? And we can say the affirmation out loud together if you'd like. I can create anything I put my mind to. I am free of the past. I am allowed to experience the good things in life. I declare to the world the message I have come to share regardless of the outcome. I know that one. All right, throat chakra. So speaking up, right? So the throat chakra controls the thyroid. Absolutely. And they say that this is the color blue. So you can see this beautiful blue. You could wear some beautiful blue clothing or jewelry for healing of the throat chakra. It's wonderful to do that as well. So this is the throat, the thyroid is right here in the front of the throat, and it produces thyroxine. That controls the rate at which the body converts fuel into useful energy. So that's the metabolism it's responsible for. And this is the area over which the throat chakra has dominance. Okay, so the thyroid governs the rate of metabolism in our body. So now this is also self-expression, it's speech, it's communication, and it's verbal and nonverbal. So it's written, it can be writing, authoring books and so forth as well. So it's also the key of G, interestingly enough. I think that's very interesting. Now, the throat chakra controls physical areas. If the chakra is out of balance, you could experience things such as asthma, neck problems, lungs, anything right in this area, the throat, the jaw, the vocal cords, any issues around communication, whether you're shy and you don't speak out or you're very vocal. So it's the center for sound, communication, speech, and thought, written expression. So it's about self-expression, it's about talking. When it's open, you have no problems expressing yourself, and you might be doing so in a creative way as well. Now, emotional balance, if you're imbalanced, this chakra is imbalanced, then you can't express your feelings, your heart and your mind disconnect. There may be hyperactivity there, or hormonal issues such as PMS or mood swings or bloating, those types of menopausal issues. So when the chakra is underactive, you tend to not speak as much, and you're probably introverted, and not speaking the truth may block this throat chakra. Now, if the chakra is overactive, then you tend to speak too much, maybe domineering, keeping people kind of at a distance. Maybe you're also a bad listener. So learn to express yourself and your beliefs, and you can sing and wear the beautiful color blue to stimulate the chakra. So let's look at the thyroid gland. I'm going to check the clearing list here first. Very good, moving really rapidly here. Nice. Okay. The thyroid provides a lot to your body. And it also releases the hormones T3 and T4, and that supports healthy metabolism, temperature, and weight. It has a right and left lobes, butterfly shaped. Controls metabolism and the processes that the body uses energy. So disorders that can affect the thyroid can either speed up or slow down the metabolic processes, and leading to a lot of different symptoms. It's the most susceptible to contaminants. So if it's poisoning, or if someone has radiation, chemotherapy, that type of thing, if you know somebody who's gone through that, they definitely need to get their thyroid work done. Okay, so send them the link, send them the email from me, let them know that this is definitely where they, and it's not even just the thyroid. After, if you've had chemotherapy, radiation, that type of conventional treatment, there are several different glands and organs that need to be beefed up. Really, really critical. Yes. Yeah. And if you know you have a thyroid problem, well, that's just it. You know, it's been hard for the medical industry to diagnose it properly. So many people do not even know. The disorders can cause symptoms that can be mistaken for somebody approaching menopause. So a lot of times your misdiagnosis saying, okay, you need medications, you need replacement hormones, and you're just getting old, right? I've been told that. Once. He told me that once. That was it. The thyroid affects regulation of the body's temperature, the metabolism. And if you have like hypothyroidism, some people report feeling cold. Or you could, if it's hyperthyroidism, then you could be have excessive sweating. Or you could be diagnosed as hot flashes or night sweats. So the lab tests that most doctors or whoever's checking you, the labs rely on to tell them that the gland is healthy, hasn't been effective in diagnosing hypothyroidism. Now, hyperthyroidism is usually detected, and that has been found the case for only about 5% of thyroid issues, leaving the huge fail for true diagnosis for a large percentage of women. It is an epidemic, and a lot of people just aren't talking about it. So maybe they need to get their thyroid motivated and start speaking up. A colleague of mine, Dr. Mark Starr, MD, said, never before in the history of modern medicine has there been such an epidemic of such proportion that has spread across Western civilization and largely gone unrecognized by the mainstream medical community. A disease has invaded the vast majority of our homes, wreaking havoc in ways that medical profession could never imagine. And there's more than 100 different symptoms that can be associated with hypothyroidism. And the gradual progression and worsening of the symptoms also occurs over many years. So it didn't just start yesterday. This onset of symptoms has made it difficult for doctors to diagnose, and leading and misleading thyroid blood tests completely fail to detect type 2 hypothyroidism. So since that's the case, you know, you might feel run down or tired. You might have brain fog, weight gain, hair loss, or if you have the hyper, you could be feeling anxious or sweating a lot more than usual. Now, thyroid disorders can also affect our emotions, our energy, and our mood. So hypothyroidism can cause depression or tiredness, feeling sluggish, where hyperthyroidism is associated with sleep disturbances, irritability, anxiety, or restlessness. And all of these are common symptoms of thyroid disorders. That gland regulates many processes within the body, and women are particularly likely to have these disorders that affect the function of this gland. So recognizing and treating these conditions is critical for optimum health and preventing long-term health problems, but not on a just one-off basis, right? You don't want to treat, oh, you got, you know, thinning hair. Well, they're going to give you, you know, whatever that is, you know, for alopecia, right? And, or if you're, you know, gaining weight, maybe that you're going to get something else, right? No, these things can all be associated with the thyroid, right? But many people have been treated for one-off symptoms, taking many different things, or taking thyroid hormones. Well, the thyroid is the largest of the hormone-producing glands, works with the pituitary in the brain, the parathyroid, which is in the thyroid, but a separate gland all on its own. Also works with the adrenal glands on your kidneys, the ovaries to moderate the metabolism, protein synthesis, and bone density. So when the thyroid produces too little or too much of the hormone, that's when problems arise. So if you have the hypothyroidism, the inner fire is burning slowly, then you could have symptoms like anxiety or infections and colds. Or you can have constipation. That's a big one I find for a lot of people. There can also be skin problems. There can be depression, loss of concentration, obesity, changes in weight can signal an abnormal function of the thyroid. Low levels of that hormones, the thyroid hormones, can cause weight gain, unexpected weight loss, but however can signal that you have too much thyroid hormone. And hypothyroidism is much more common though than the hyper, as we already mentioned. So there can be weakness, hypoglycemia, chronic pain, dry skin, headaches, ADHD, cold hands and feet, or tingling and numbness in the hands or fingers, a sense of hopelessness, seen that with people, absolutely. Decrease in mental sharpness, diabetes is also in there. Hair loss is incredibly a huge problem for women with a compromised thyroid, very common sign of thyroid problem. Both high and low levels of thyroid can actually lead to hair loss. Yep. Many women, however, get this back. Okay, so a lot of the different things that you're looking at here, these symptoms can turn around once we get health back into the thyroid. So that's the good part. Now, high blood pressure is also a symptom of a faulty or compromised thyroid. Heart disease as well. So untreated hypothyroidism, we're not doing anything about it, can raise cholesterol levels and increase your risk of heart attack or stroke. So if the thyroid hormone levels drop to extreme lows, a coma and a life-threatening lowering of body temperature actually occurs. So other complications can include bone density loss there and heart problems. So when the inner fires rage, where you have hyperthyroidism, then, weight loss can be rapid, blood pressure rises, muscles can tremble, emotions can go, from apprehensive to overexcited, and you get that eye thing. Okay, so you can notice people with that popped out looking eye, that can be a sign of hyperthyroidism. Now there's diseases, if there's areas they say an immune system, autoimmune in the thyroid. Well, if that's the case, if you have hypothyroidism, then it's called Hashimoto's, or if it's hyper, then they call it the Graves' disease. So these diseases are, like a goiter. Okay, so a goiter now is a enlargement of the thyroid gland, is what it is. So it can be seen as a swelling in front of the neck, and it can be for either hypo or hyperthyroidism. And it can sometimes result from tumors or nodules that develop within the thyroid gland itself. And then there's thyroiditis. It's inflammation of the thyroid. It's usually caused by a viral. And yes, there's the virus, Epstein, that goes into the thyroid, drills holes in it, and makes its home there. Yeah, so there could be neck pain, sore throat, fever, chills, tender area here, and that inflammation can cause an increased amount of thyroid hormone to be secreted into the body and cause hyperthyroidism or Hashimoto's disease, which is hypothyroidism. So that's can also tend to run in families, and we're looking at the DNA. So we're going to be working here in DNA too to let's check the DNA. We're looking at programs right now in our DNA for compromised thyroid. And there's about one program per person here. So that's what we looked at earlier. So we're making sure that those are cleared. These DNA programs. Okay. So 1 in 10 women, now this is a study, is currently diagnosed with a thyroid disorder, but and then they say, but many believe that 1 out of 3 have undetected hypothyroidism, and I believe it is a lot more than that. Well, at least for the people that I talk to, all of my clients that I read, I see nearly everybody by midlife has some compromise in the thyroid glands. Absolutely. Now, the human blueprint includes spiritual, emotional, mental, and physical aspects to it. So treating illness, if you're going to go symptom treatment, as we just said, if you have, weight gain and you get one treatment for that, if you have hair loss and you get another treatment for that, that's going to miss the deeper cause and even the life meanings of the challenges occurring in the body. So many don't really know if the thyroid condition could be causing another eventual problem or disease down the road. Now, a healthy thyroid means a healthy heart. So women with low levels of thyroid hormones are 2 times as likely to have a heart attack as women with normal levels. Yeah, so the hormones made in the thyroid gland affect almost every organ in the body, including the heart. So hypothyroidism can cause the heart to beat more slowly, while hyperthyroidism causes a faster heartbeat. And elevated levels of thyroid hormones can also lead to increases in blood pressure and the sense that your heart is really pounding, like the palpitations. So people can go to their doctor, maybe expecting them to know what they should about their issues, but generally aren't getting accurate diagnosis or given harmful drugs to start treating general symptoms, the roots of which really haven't even been given the time or consideration of even being researched. So the possibility of diseases like diabetes and heart disease go undetected as well. Yes, and then we wonder why we're the victim of some disease or illness. Just out of the blue, right? Not so much. So, and if you're prescribed estrogen replacement, for example, just know that it adversely affects the thyroid function. And synthetic thyroid replacement hormone is a known risk factor for heart disease and osteoporosis. And I understand that once you start it, it's difficult to stop. They don't want you to go off it, for sure. And an important component of thyroid hormone is iodine. So if an excess of iodine is ingested, for example, the thyroid may overproduce thyroid hormone and cause hyperthyroidism. So some medications contain large amounts of iodine and can induce thyroid dysfunction. So you might want to find out if you have any iodine in your medications or anything else that you're taking. You can take the iodine test. Now, iodine is good. I mean, you just don't want a whole lot. So you can put like a tincture of iodine on your inner arm, and if it disappears within an hour, then you need more iodine. And your thyroid's probably unhappy. And now there's also a body temperature test you can do. So with a thermometer under your armpit for 4 mornings in a row, you can take the average of the 4 readings, and it should be between 97.8 and 98.2. And then there's that emotional component. There always is one, isn't there? So the link between the thyroid and emotions, well, there's a lot to say about that, and that's the point. So the throat chakra area is the point of communication we mentioned, or a lack thereof. And it's always sending us messages. So it could be what I call the stifling trauma, like Edith Bunker on the TV show, Archie Bunker, from a long time ago, back in the 1970s. Archie always told Edith to stifle it. And she did, until at some point she spoke out and told her truth, usually in each episode. So truth be told, not really, not ready. Maybe we're, the safety and support and survival to keep family peace and connection. Maybe we're not speaking up. We're not saying what we should, but at what cost? So the message here is the purpose, the fire stirring, the grumbling inside is, I'll be quiet no more. It's my time. I'm speaking out. So many women, though, complain about sore throats or coughs or colds or tightness or itching. So if you find yourself raging or crying or yelling, you're out of control, great, go do that. Create your own space where you can have your own feelings. Maybe journal what's coming out, get a massage maybe, or call in help with somebody similar to what I do, right? And now the butterfly-shaped thyroid can literally change how you perceive the world. Yeah, so it's the ability to give voice to the truth. And that increases as we get into middle age, or especially even into menopause. Right? That truth, that ability to give voice to our truth does increase. It almost forces us to speak up, and it becomes insistent. So turn off the TV and noise, listen in on your own truth, right? And you can emerge stronger and wiser. Being quiet and getting rest is often the recommendation given to people with thyroid conditions. So yeah, okay, fine. Get some rest, but speak the truth, no matter how difficult. Thyroid cancer is not common, but it is among the most deadly types of cancer if you did have that. A lump or swelling in the thyroid is the most common sign. However, it doesn't have to mean that there's cancer there, and it's only about 5% of nodules are malignant, right? So, but the burden of health problems is increasing in severity, and the treatments have become more complex, especially for women, like I mentioned, with hormones. And add to that the doctors who are prescribing medications to cover certain symptoms and not addressing or curing the underlying issue due to the fact that blood tests that doctors rely on are the problem because they only detect a small amount of women's midlife problems. Now, the pituitary gland is located in the base of the brain. It controls functions of many other glands in the body, including the thyroid. So the pituitary gland produces TSH, which signals the thyroid to make more hormones, thyroid hormones. So if there's a problem with the pituitary and not sending the TSH, enough TSH, then hypothyroidism can result there too. So the inflammation of the thyroid and taking certain medications can also cause low thyroid hormone levels. And complex biochemical processes in the body that control the thyroid gland's production of thyroid hormones. So two other glands, the hypothalamus, also in the brain, and that pituitary, both have this biochemical effect on the thyroid. So the hypothalamus is the master gland, and it releases a hormone called TRH, thyrotropin releasing hormone. And that's going to send a signal to the pituitary to release the thyroid stimulating hormone. And in turn, that TSH sends a signal to the thyroid to release thyroid hormones. So a problem with any of these three glands may cause an over or under production of thyroid hormone and can lead to hyper or hypothyroidism. So you might want to know what your pituitary and your hypothalamus readings are as well. And I can read that for you too, so if you're interested. Simple and natural ways to boost your thyroid. Now this was given to you in a guidebook PDF in your email, so I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time here. You have this. You can print it out or you can come back to the recording and get more information here. So I'm going to go through these rather quickly, but yeah, your diet is your first line of defense always, right? So if you're experiencing like brain fog or fatigue, then, go for better forms of energy than sugar or caffeine, right? Because that can burn out your thyroid, destabilize blood sugar, and then also that's the adrenals. So here we've got 3 different items here, whether you chose that donut or the apple, okay? So just say no to caffeine and sugar. So greatly reducing or eliminating caffeine and sugar, including refined carbs like flour, like white flour, right? Which the body treats like sugar. So you want to make this grain-based carbs lesser of a focus, eating non-starchy vegetables as much as you'd like, and increasing, you can increase protein, although you want to kind of go for animal-free protein here, because once you're introducing animal meats, now you're introducing fat. Regardless if it's lean or whatever, it's fat, right? And it goes, and your liver has to stop everything. Your immune system, everything, stop energy production, everything stops. Go to the liver, process that fat. Process until it's totally processed. Now then we can get back to regular function of the body, right? So instead of doing that, we can eat, legumes, right? So nuts, beans, and there's quinoa, there's nut butters, there's all kinds of good things that you can use, and vegetables. There's a ton of protein in vegetables, and maybe you don't even need as much protein as we've been told we do too. So check in on that with yourself. Okay, so here it does say eat fat, which is good for cholesterol, because we do need a certain amount of cholesterol. It is the precursor to hormones, So you want to make sure that you're getting the, you know, what you need as far as that cholesterol is going. You could be throwing off hormone, you know, balance there too. But natural healthful fats is what we're looking at here. So this could be olive oil. It could be the avocados, flaxseed, wonderful, right? Nuts, nut butters, and that kind of thing. And coconut milk products, wonderful, wonderful. Coconut milk is. And nutrients and minerals, nutritional deficiencies may not be the cause of, you know, hypothyroidism, but not having enough of some micronutrients and minerals can aggravate the symptoms. So vitamin D, iron, omega-3, fatty acids, selenium, zinc, copper, vitamin A, B vitamins, iodine, and we already spoke about insufficient iodine in hypothyroidism. So 100% gluten-free would be great. The thyroid tissue is almost identical to that of gluten. So, yeah, that's not good. Be mindful of goitrogens. Now, these are foods that can interfere with thyroid functions. They do include broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, the cauliflower, kale, kohlrabi, rutabagas, turnips, millet, spinach, strawberries, peaches, watercress, peanuts, radishes, and soybeans. But cooking them inactivates the goitrogenic compounds in them. And eating radishes and watercress, you know, it's not going to be a deal breaker there. So go for the glutathione. And here we have a little gauge. We're going to use this gauge because our body produces glutathione. So we are going to see right now that gauge go from empty to full. Okay, empty to full. And maybe on the screen, maybe we need to start here as empty and go to full, right? So let's do that. Let's see right now where our glutathione is. Wonderful. It's an antioxidant, strengthens the immune system, and it can fight Hashimoto's and boost your ability to regulate the immune system and dampen any inflammation and protect and heal the thyroid. Okay, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Turning that up. About 75% right now. Plant-based diet would be great for this. You can do avocados, broccoli, peaches, asparagus, spinach, garlic, squash. Yep. And about 92%. I'm going to continue here. We'll get that to 100, okay? And then addressing underlying food sensitivities. If you have something that you know about and discontinue eating it, you can also check the gut. 20% of thyroid function depends on a sufficient supply of healthy gut bacteria. So you might want to supplement with probiotics, the friendly intestinal bacteria. And you can also take the digestive live stream that we do as well. That'll be wonderful. So I do recommend a lot of different probiotics in that one. And you're going to want to look at the silent inflammation and well, autoimmunity really is inflammation, and the inflammation is really virus-based, right? Your body is not attacking itself. That's not what autoimmunity is, no matter what you've been told. Your body is doing exactly what it knows to do, and is doing it correctly, and it's going after and fighting different things, and that's why you have the inflammation. So you're going to also want to look at adrenal fatigue. There's a connection between the thyroid and the adrenals. I see it all the time. It's uncommon to have hypothyroidism without some level of adrenal fatigue as well. So yeah, you can also participate in the adrenals live stream that I do. It's so critical. I do that very often. And looking at the stressors and practicing relaxation. The thyroid is a sensitive gland, and it's exceptionally reactive to the stress response. Absolutely. And you're going to want to ask for the thyroid collar if you go to the dentist, and it's sensitive to radiation. So you're going to want to Make sure you get that collar on. All right, so let's look at now thyroid gland regeneration. Yes, where are we with the clearing? All right, 100% now here. Same with life force. Yep, 100%. The clearing, DNA programs. Good. Now we're down to 0 there. Perfect. We can continue. We'll regenerate the master cell of the thyroid right now. This is going to create new life in the thyroid gland by making the one master cell whole, perfect, complete, and healthy. And then we're going to match that to all the cells in the thyroid. So now energy here is from the thyroid, is provided by this thyroid or the throat chakra. So healing the thyroid right now. So let's imagine right now that we are connecting the master cell of your thyroid to the center of the earth. We're going to send a root core down to the center, the crystalline center of the earth. We're going to send that down and connect. And we are also going to connect with source here. So we are very protected. This beautiful master cell now. We're sending some beautiful gold God healing energy now into the master cell. We're going to send it into the membrane of the master cell. That's surrounding the cell and protecting it, getting information from the outside of itself. Beautiful gold God healing energy now matching the beauty, love, and perfection of the divine blueprint for us, and also for the highest and best from source, whatever that happens to be for you right now. So this beautiful gold healing energy now going into the membrane. Also now going into the nucleus, the center of the cell, the brains, doing all this work in our master cell of our thyroid, sending beautiful healing energy now into the nucleus. Beautiful. This might be a good time to get a drink of water and continue drinking water throughout the rest of this live stream. We are now moving energy. We are moving particles right here in the thyroid itself. So there could be toxins coming out right now. That is what usually when we put the light in, dark goes out, right? So toxins are moving out. So let's drink, get some water going through. Wonderful. All right, so we're sending that beautiful gold healing energy now into all of the organelles of the master cell here of your thyroid. The organelles are responsible for things that, such as the elimination of toxins through the cell, or absorbing nutrients into the cell. DNA organelle. All organelles right now are receiving this beautiful gold healing energy. Very nice. Lighting up. Very, very nice. Checking on the original color here, if we're seeing any darkness, if we're seeing any black or gray or white even. We don't want those colors. Those are not healthy colors for the cell, for the gland itself. So we are going in there and letting go of anything dark and letting in this beautiful healing, gold healing energy now from source in the exact amount for you, what is ever optimal. Source knows exactly what that is for you, whether you may have hypothyroidism, hyperthyroidism, or just faulty or compromised functioning right now of the thyroid. Beautiful healing energy now going into all parts of the master cell. And now sending this beautiful gold healing energy into the mitochondria. These are the energy centers of your cell. They produce the ATP, the energy we require. Sending in the light there so we no longer have the sluggishness. This is what we're working in right now, the energy centers, the mitochondria, beautiful gold healing energy now coming from source into the mitochondria of the master cell of your thyroid right now. Beautiful. Okay, that's much better. Phew. It was a little dark there for a minute, so we have the light streaming in now. It's looking much more beautiful. And if you can see energy, maybe you can see some beautiful blue coming back into the thyroid. Beautiful color of blue. Very nice. Very, very, very nice. Yes. Okay, now sending this healing energy now to all areas of the master cell of your thyroid. Every space, every little bit of this master cell now is being flooded with beautiful healing gold energy from source right now, matching the beauty, love, and perfection of the divine blueprint for us. Very nice. Okay, so now while we're in here, let's look at the DNA strand. Yes. Very, very good. And we're going to check here if there's anything that we need to fix. Is there any breaks here? Very good. Sending beautiful healing energy now into the DNA strand. Healing any areas that require it, or fixing any breaks. Very nice. Any damage here? Very good. Sending the beautiful golden energy through the DNA strand. You can see it now going into the strand itself, just riding the strand all the way from one end to the other, just healing it and sealing it. Very nice. Very, very nice. Okay. I'm going to continue sending energy through here, just a little bit more. And then we're going to look at lighting up the cell. So light up that master cell. Every area in the master cell now is beautiful, healed, and lit up from the inside. All right, very nice. DNA, we're complete. Good. Okay, so every area now has received this beautiful healing information from source. The whole master cell right now lit up totally 100%, full of light. All darkness has been let go. Yes, very nice. All right now we are going to now match this healing to all areas of your thyroid. So we're going to send this beautiful healing information and send this upgrade to all cells now of your thyroid. All cells right now are receiving this upgrade from the master cell. It's also receiving the beautiful gold God healing energy straight from source right now to all areas of your thyroid. So all cells there now are taking the upgrade of the master cell, matching and copying this perfected information, taking on the light, beauty and wholeness, returning, yes. Sending some love through there. Some acceptance of self. Ready now to speak up. Willing now to speak up. Able now to speak up. You just have to be willing. Now we're making you able. Very nice. Oh, beautiful healing energy now going into all cells of the thyroid, lighting up the whole area, every little space, every little bit of the thyroid now is receiving this beautiful healing energy. Very nice. Very, very good. Let's check where we're at here. Just a little bit more. You see that we're at the 1 hour point, but we are nearly complete. So it'll be just a few more minutes, sending that beautiful gold light, that healing energy into all cells now of the thyroid. About 98% of the way there. I'm just going to continue with the energy right now while we check to see where we are at. We are going to find out how many cells right now are taking the upgrade. Very good. Okay. And the number of days that the cells will be in upgrade. Let's check that for everybody as an average. Getting 56 days. And I'm going to make note of that. Now, this could be more days for you, maybe less. On average, the thyroid is about 60 days. You will see the majority of the improvement within the first 30 days, but from there it can go up, within the next 30 days and to get a higher improvement, better percentage of improvement. Now, it just depends on where you started when we started the process here. So if your function was about, say, 30%, it's possible to go to 100%. But my experience has showed that it may require a second round. So if you're at 50% or above, that's where I find that most people are great with just this first round. So it just depends on where you're starting at, really. The thyroid is the dense, gland, one of the densest, that in the liver. So it does take its time, and it has that personality, right? So it's like, it could be sluggish, right? Take my time. So we're going to continue to send the beautiful healing energy through there right now. But just know that this is just typical for a thyroid is the way I see it. Now, of course, we're always looking for ways to speed things up. And I never say never. So it could be totally off the charts for you. That's what we're going for here. So we've got 56 days. I've jotted that down. And improvements that you may notice from an optimally functioning thyroid can include, obviously, more energy. We're in the mitochondria there where we're producing the ATP is producing that energy. Healthier hair and skin, better digestion, reduced swelling and weight, improved memory, less anxiety or depression. You see that a lot. Normal body temperatures can come back, less muscle weakness or joint pain. You could have decreased risk of heart disease and type 2 diabetes and slower aging. So we're all for all of this, I believe. Now, one thing that you're going to want to do, now let's take a drink again here. We all need more water. More water. Hydration, going to be very important for you, especially within the first 72 hours, the first 3 days. So what we just did here is we have cells that are now in a regrowth period. They're in new growth, actually, not regrowth, but they have just started growing healthy cells. And this is going to, replace the sick and old and dead cells of the thyroid. So during this regrowth period or new growth period, I should say, the area actually here you could maybe feel a little warmth. Some people do while the cells are growing. It could also maybe ache. Some people have expressed that, like a kind of a dull sore throat. But that's not everybody. That's just, maybe just a few people experience that. Or you could be tired or maybe sleepy, because usually when we are in rejuvenation mode, that's at night. Usually when we're asleep, that's when the cells are growing or rejuvenating for us. So your cells may say, hey, we have new cells going here, right here, so I need a nap, right? So that can be totally the case within the first, usually today, but can be within the first 3 days. Now, what you decide to put into your body by way of drinks or food is can make or break what we've done today. So if you're going to go out and say drink alcohol tonight or take sleeping pills or drugs, I'm not sure what kind of drugs, recreational drugs maybe, but also there's certain medications that, especially maybe pain medications or sleep meds that can actually stop what we are doing. So they can actually stop cells from regrowth. So really it's not good at any time, because even at night when our body is regenerating, rejuvenating, we're turning that off every night just to get a sleep pill, so think these things through. I'm not telling you not to take your medications, not at all, but just know that you could reduce or even stop these cell growth. So just know that. Be kind to yourself. Eat well, organic as much as possible, clean, whole, healthy foods. Maybe fruits and vegetables would be great for the first 3 days if you wanted to kind of go on a beautiful, wonderful healing fast, if you will, or a diet, healing diet. That would be great. So another thing that you can do is relax. Get out into nature as much as possible. Leave the cell phone at home. Unplug. Go by yourself, right? And get in touch with the natural rhythms of nature. Okay, the earth sends us this beautiful energy, and we were mentioning before about earthing and getting the electrons to come up through the soles of the feet. Wonderful thing to do, especially right now. That would be great while the body is growing new cells. So, perhaps maybe you're functioning with hormonal symptoms. Maybe you do have, thyroid hormone issues or, compromised function of the gland itself. But it doesn't have to be this way anymore. Other areas of the body as well. So for those who, there are answers for those who really, truly want to heal. Whether that's the adrenals, the pancreas, other areas that are affected here, the pituitary, hypothalamus we mentioned. And so for people who are planning to make a contribution in life, and want to live for decades or hundreds of more years, whatever it happens to be, it's possible. This is what we're here for. We're here for beautiful moments of celebration and connection, to experience joy and love. That is what we're here to do. Life is meant to be filled with these moments. So if you do have a chronic condition, it is highly recommended that we do a session together. Find the unique things that could be blocking health for you and let those go, because this is not what we're made of. This is not what we're here to do. We're here to speak up and get our message out there and get heard. So I will send a link for a reduced cost session, actually, that goes along with this program. That'll be in the replay email that will be sent out here shortly. So upcoming live streams, yes, we do have Unlock Your Secret DNA Code. That's coming up on April 30th. That's going to also include the regeneration and clearing of the pineal gland. So the third eye, we're going to do a third eye activation here. Absolutely incredible. If you're having any issues with sleep, well, yes, it could be your adrenals, but melatonin is produced in the pineal gland. The only place that it is has a lot to do with your sleep and insomnia, your wellness around that area. So, and that's not the only thing it does, believe me. There's intuition. It can open your intuition, and then like all of your gifts can come alive, right? And we're going to be doing an activation on the DNA strand itself. We want to go from the 2-strand, 3D model. We are wanting to go to 5D now. So that's going to include, it's going to have to include upgrading your DNA. So you've heard maybe 12 strands. There's 13. Well, you can attend that one and see what we're talking about here, but highly beneficial for 98% of the people in this group. And then there's Happiness as a Healed Pancreas. That's going to be on May 5th. Pancreas itself has a lot of issues that have to do with weight or metabolism as well. But if you're having issues around fatigue, increased appetite, brain fog there too, belly fat or abdominal obesity, mood swings, cravings, high blood pressure, sugar cravings, always feeling hungry or unable to lose weight, fatigue after your meals, or aches and pains all over, problems with concentration, high cholesterol, low good cholesterol, or high triglycerides, high glucose, that could be the pancreas. Absolutely. So the improvements you could notice, well, obviously I think they would be the opposite of the symptoms, but also body and brain age slower. So this is the important part to remember here. And then also coming up is Infection Guard, May 7th. There we're going to be actually clearing virus, bacteria, fungus, yeast, and parasites. So if you have any of that in your body, and let's test to see, 71% of the people on this group do. Something in there that would need to be cleared. Now, the only way you're going to find this is to go to yourbodypower.com/live streams. And I believe that's also in the chat box too, so you can pick up the link right there. And we are also going to do a healing certification training. This is an online retreat. And I've done these as in person at beautiful mansions and so forth. We get together and spend 3 days together. But this one's going to be online. Now, if anybody has thought about doing healing work or is interested in working from home, being able to assist themselves, heal their family or friends, and then also to work with clients, that's what we're going to be training you to do and teaching you how to do it. You'll get the protocol to be able to do what I do, right? So that's at yourbodypower.com/CERT, that's CERT -online. And that's coming up in May. So I want to invite you to check your email for the recording that will be coming a little bit later today as soon as the video renders and so forth. And I'll put the links in there for the session and the upcoming programs if you'd like. And then, yeah, reversing debilitating effects of middle age, midlife aging, that is what I do. I want to thank you for being here today. Let's come back to the screen. All right, very good. So that was amazing. I want to congratulate you, congratulate yourself. Okay, the physical body can take some time to shift, or it can happen more rapidly for some than others. It just depends. But things that you can experience immediately, you could be feeling more refreshed and clear, or maybe you're a little tired right now and you need a nap. So enjoy this time that you've taken just for yourself today. Rest if your body requests it. Drink water, get out into nature, love yourself and your body. I'm going to send out the replay soon, filled with gratitude for you. Enjoy, and namaste. Wonderful. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Oh, wonderful. Nice to see you. And I'm going to be ending the meeting now. So thank you for being here with me. And I'll look for the replay here in today shortly. Thanks. Bye-bye.